You cannot talk to her like that. She is not invisible." The little girl's voice cut through the polished calm of the mall. Sharp and trembling at the same time, stopping footsteps, stopping breath, stopping a moment that had already gone too far. Only seconds earlier, the scene had been ordinary. Bright lights reflected off smooth floors. Shoppers drifted past with bags swinging at their sides, coffee warming their hands, eyes fixed on their own lives. Soft comfort filled the space, the kind money builds carefully. And right there, near a bench no one used for long, stood a woman who did not belong to that comfort. Her jacket was faded at the elbows. Her shoes were clean but tired, shaped by years of walking more than resting. She held a small paper bag close to her chest, like it carried something fragile. She was not asking for help. She was not speaking at all. She was only trying to stand still long enough for the pain in her legs to ease. The guard had noticed her, the way people notice stains, not humans. He told her she needed to move. He said it once, then again, louder, with a tone that made it clear this was not a request. Rules were rules. This place had standards. The woman lowered her eyes. She nodded slightly. Silence had become her armor long ago. It was lighter than fighting and hurt less than explaining. That was when the child stepped forward. She was small, no more than 7, her hair neatly tied, her dress soft and clean. She had been holding her father's hand moments before, walking beside him while he scrolled through his phone, distracted by numbers and messages that ruled his world. She let go without asking. Her steps were slow but certain as she placed herself between the guard and the woman. Her hands shook, but she did not step back. Her voice rose again, simple and clear, saying the woman was kind, saying she had done nothing wrong, saying something that made the air turn heavy with surprise. "My daddy needs someone like her." A few people laughed, unsure if this was a joke. Others froze, sensing something important unfolding. The woman looked up, startled, her eyes wide with confusion and fear. Unsure if this kindness was real or another moment meant to hurt, the girl turned back to her father and announced, with complete seriousness, that she had found a new wife for him. That was the moment the man finally looked up. His face was known in this city. It appeared on buildings, on magazines, in quiet conversations, spoken with respect. He was a billionaire, a man used to control, to power, to silence following his steps. But when he saw where his daughter stood and who she stood beside, something shifted in him. He followed her gaze to the woman by the bench. He saw the way she held herself, tight and guarded, ready to disappear. He saw the guard's uncertain stance. And deeper than that, he recognized the stillness in her eyes. A stillness born not of weakness, but endurance. Her name was Alina. Before the mall, before the bench, before the paper bag, she had lived another life. One defined by early mornings and heavy boots, by commands spoken with urgency, by trust built under pressure. She had worn a uniform once, pressed and proud. Standing beneath skies that felt endless and unforgiving, she remembered the smell of dust and metal, the weight of equipment digging into her shoulders, the quiet moments when laughter kept fear away. She remembered faces she would never see again, promises whispered under stars that felt closer than home ever did. Then came the day that split her life in two, a flash, a violent force, pain that rewrote her body. She woke up different, learning that survival sometimes came with a cost that never stopped collecting. When she returned home, the world felt louder and colder. Jobs slipped through her fingers. Her body refused to cooperate. Nights stretched long and restless. She learned to carry memories she could not share and injuries people could not see. Still, she stayed gentle. She smiled at strangers. She helped when she could. She learned which benches were safest to rest on and which places would chase her away. She learned that dignity could exist even when comfort did not, in the mall. The smell of fresh bread mixed with perfume and polished floors, it overwhelmed her senses. She had only come in to sit, just for a moment. She had not expected to be seen. The guard cleared his throat, glancing now at the man beside the child. His voice softened, explaining policy, saying complaints had been made. insisting he was only doing his job. The man listened quietly. He said nothing at first. His daughter looked up at him, her eyes wide with trust. She believed he would protect what was right. She always had. Alina waited. Hope had learned not to rise too high in public places. People gathered without realizing it. Some felt shame for staying silent. Others felt curiosity. Most felt the weight of watching a choice being made. The man finally spoke, his voice calm and steady. He asked who the rules were meant to protect. He asked why rest was treated like a crime. He asked why kindness made people uncomfortable. No, one answered. He knelt beside his daughter and asked why she chose this woman. The girl said she saw her smile at someone who walked past. She said she felt safe near her. She said she looked strong in a quiet way. Then she said words that stayed with everyone who heard them. Strong people do not always look strong. Something cracked open inside. Alina, warmth spread where only tension had lived for years. The man stood and gently placed his jacket around Alina's shoulders. Not for attention. Not for drama. Simply because she was cold. Because respect should never be complicated. He told the guard that the woman was his guest. He told the arriving manager that this place would treat her with dignity. His voice never rose. It did not need to. Phones appeared, not to capture chaos, but grace. The guard stepped back. People stood taller. Silence filled the space, not awkward, but respectful. Alina tried to speak, but her voice failed. Tears fell quietly. The little girl hugged her without asking. They sat together later, sharing simple food at a small table. Alina spoke carefully, offering pieces of her story. The man listened fully. The girl listened like every word mattered. The days that followed changed everything. Alina was offered real help, without pity. A safe place. Care for her injuries. Work that honored her limits. She accepted slowly, rebuilding trust one careful step at a time. The man did not disappear. He showed up. He kept listening. The girl never stopped calling her the brave lady. Time passed. One afternoon, Alina walked through the same mall. She passed the bench without stopping. Her steps were steadier now. Her shoulders lighter. People recognized her, not because of wealth, but because of a moment that reminded them who they could be. Silent dignity outlives cruelty. Kindness does not need permission. And sometimes the smallest voice sees the biggest truth. The little girl had not found a new wife for her father. She had found a mirror for the world. If this story moved you, share where you are watching from. Tell us what kindness means to you. And subscribe for more stories that honor quiet strength and unseen courage.